Welcome BC, the Love and Light family. You already know this is a channel where I want to inspire everyone to BC the love and light within and everything and everyone around us. If you could BC the love and light within, you could pass it on to the universe. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Now this will be just me telling a part of my journey to my spiritual awakening. Now my channel, yes, I do a lot of tarot cards here, but that is not what this channel is mainly about. This channel is about healing, self-love, and finding your life purpose here, your life path, your life purpose here. What are you meant to do here on this earth? So I'm gonna start this video off with talking about me finding out what my life path was. I found out in July of 2017. I'm not sure exactly the date. I could go back and do the research and find out the date, but it's not that important. But I found out July 2017, which is a few months after me losing my mom. I found out that I was a life path number 7. And when I looked it up, then it said that I was a spiritual teacher. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this, I have to turn on my computer because I want to look up something here. But yeah, it said that I was a spiritual teacher. And I'm like, no, that can't be right because I don't believe, I'm not a believer in that. I thought that I was like, when I looked it up and they said spiritual teacher, I assumed that it meant that I would be like some kind of like priest or like something of that nature. And I'm like, no, that's not me. And later on, in 2019, that's when I really started my spiritual journey, the end of 2019. And that's when I learned about spirituality. And so that brings me here today, and to me, telling you my story, letting you heal through me here. I don't know, let me, just give me one moment. Let me do this with my computer. So, and with the spiritual journey here, what started me on this spiritual journey here in 2019, I had met my twin flame here. And while at first, I can't even say why at first it was like picture perfect, because shortly after us getting together, it was just a bunch of drama and chaos and conflict. And it made me started paying attention to other things. I always knew that everything happens for a reason, that it was a greater reason for everything here. But I never like experienced this kind of like deep connection or bond with someone instantly like I did with my twin flame. So then I started like I always been into tarot. I always had my friend do like readings for me and stuff like that. Actually, she was the one who actually told me my life path number at the time too. And now I'm a tarot card reader, and I'm trying to teach everyone their life purpose and their life path, to follow their life path and have their spiritual awakening. It is very spiritual awakening. People think it looks like this meditation and being in a meditative state, and you getting signs and signals from the universe. Yes, that is part of it, but that is after you are in the state of like this. Just now I don't pray, but it's just a state of you like just praying this will be over soon. You will get out of this pain, this mental anguish that you have here. Just give me one moment here. So basically what I'm looking up now is, because this coincides with what I'm talking about here. So anyways, I have met my twin flame as I started, and at first, like I said, it was beautiful. He was everything that I could imagine in a man. And as I tell you more about my journey, each relationship that I have been in has got me closer to my divine counterpart. And yes, at first, well, it's not even at first, because regardless, he's still my twin flame, but he did so much damage to the relationship to me that he turned into a karmic. And so the first thing that started me even learning about twin flames and stuff like that is, one time, this was in January of 2020, he had left me, and he texted and said that he was going to work it out with his family. And so me, being the prideful woman that I am, I said, okay. He said, don't text and call me no more. I said, okay. I was like dying in the inside because I didn't understand, like, I done been in past relationships and stuff like that, and I've been hurt before, but I didn't understand, like, and no one ever, like, was just so, like, cold and detached like that. And I was like, okay. And I was just so hurt and sad about it, but I moved on, you know? And ironically, he did this a couple days before my mother's birthday. Okay, so a few, maybe not even a few weeks, couple days or whatever, he started, maybe like a week or so, he started texting me and stuff. Then the person that he left me for started texting me too. And she always texts me and created conflict and craziness in a relationship ever since I met this person. But somehow he made me feel so like safe, and like I had nothing to worry about when it came to like his kid's mom and stuff. So shortly they both started texting me and stuff like that. And at this point, yeah, I still loved him, but I was hurt. So, and I'm very prideful. Anybody that know me know that I'm a very prideful person. So, we was like planning on like getting back together and stuff, and the kid's mom had texted me. I woke up to text in the morning saying, "Oh no, he ain't getting back with you. I'm not letting him come back with you because he tried to kill himself and all this other stuff about you." I'm like, what? And like now that I can sit back and reflect on things, like that was just crazy. I should have just ran and just let it be done then when he left that first time. But no, I didn't. And this is part of my journey as well. Like, I had to learn to stop being a people pleaser. That was my biggest thing. Like, I never wanted to set boundaries with people. I never wanted to, not be there for someone. And I'm just trying to find this thing, but I'm gonna have to probably do it later. I never wanted to set boundaries and not be there for someone. So, anyways, he had to stay there until I talked to him throughout the day and stuff like that. He tried to like drink some like cleaning products and stuff in the bathroom and you know, kill himself or whatever, right? Or attempt to kill himself. So later on that evening, he left the kid's mom's house because he had to stay there with the kids while she worked. So he left the kid's mom's house, and he couldn't come to my house. He didn't have his own place then, so he attempted to kill himself again. He wanted to jump off a bridge. And I don't know, somehow, some way the police got called or whatever. And he ended up in the hospital. And it's not the psych ward because it was like, I don't know. Like, it's the emergency department, but like the, where they watch you for like suicidal things or whatever. So the next morning, after getting my children ready for daycare and stuff, I called in to work and told them that I was going to be late. I showed up to the hospital, being there for him. I was with him most of the morning. I think I had told them I was going to be back to work at like 11 o'clock or something like that. And so I stayed there with him most of the morning and stuff. But at this time, I didn't want to be back with him. Like, I couldn't like get past the hurt that he just like left and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna work it out with my family. Don't text and call me." I'm like, that was just so cold. I didn't like view him like the same at that point in time. So he had to like get some kind of shit, like they wanted to like stick some kind of tube and shit down his throat and shit. And at first he was gonna do it, but I don't know, I ended up leaving because I had to go to work. And I guess he didn't end up doing it. So I couldn't even stay at work because the damn kid's mom was texting me like crazy and calling me and always threatening me. Always threatening to like, she wanted to fight me when she see me. She was gonna do this and do that and So I ended up leaving work to go back to the hospital with him. And I stayed there once again all day. He was getting agitated because, you know, I don't know about where y'all from, but here in the emergency department, they had like different color like robes for the people who was like under like watching, like suicide watch or whatever. So basically they wouldn't let him leave the hospital because I guess it could become some kind of like what's the word for it? Like some, they could be held liable for like if they didn't treat him, if he had like the chemicals and shit in his body that he was swallowed or whatever. So up there all night, his brother, no, I went to go pick up his brother and his sister-in-law. Yeah. And we went up there and stayed with him and talked to him. So I had to drop them back off and go pick up my kids and stuff now. And I think yeah, okay. So yeah, I had to go pick up my children and stuff. And they wouldn't let, when I came, after I picked up my children, they wouldn't let the, I'm trying to think why I didn't have all my children, but it don't matter. Anyways, yeah. So I ended up dropping the children off because they wouldn't let them come inside, because this was like the beginning of COVID, so they wouldn't let the children come inside to the hospital. So I ended up staying and going to get wait for them, and then we end up becoming a happy family again, or just like together again. Then this was in January, so this is like a repeated like thing that was ongoing thing. So then again in March, well no, let me tell you, in February, it was perhaps around Valentine's Day or something like that, I found out I was pregnant. And it was like bittersweet for me because yeah, I know children are blessings, but I know that this man have the capacity of just up and leaving and saying he want to work things out with his family. Ironically, that's what he does again. So I found out I'm pregnant in February, and towards the end of March, he leaves again. And I think I'm pretty sure. No, he didn't say it this time that he wanted to work it out with his family. He just left and went back to his family and shit. And then that's when I started really getting on my journey. That's when I started really, I was like obsessively watching YouTube tarot readers. And one used to always talk about twin flame. And I'm like, I didn't know what a twin flame was. But them readings came to me for a reason. So I started like just thinking about that, and then I'm like, okay, well, I have to let him figure these things out, you know? Like I was still loved him and things, and I just craved his energy and stuff like that. So a couple weeks later was his birthday, and I don't know, something was telling me to this is what I say about being a people pleaser. So something was telling me to pulling me, oh, go get this man something to eat. This was before his birthday, maybe a couple weeks before his birthday, or a week or so. I don't know how long, it don't matter. But something was telling me, go get this man something to eat. Go get this man some cigarettes. Go give this man something to drink and shit like that. And my sister, my younger sister, who really woke me up or made me see who taught me about spirituality and stuff like that. So she was like, well, if you feel it, just do it, just do it. So I did. I honestly spent my last money I had and got this guy this stuff. So when I pulled up to his brother's house, you know, at first he was scared. He was like, oh, what y'all gonna fight me? Y'all gonna jump me and stuff like that. I'm like, no, like, I'm not even a fighter. I'll tell y'all about like my younger years. Yeah, I was a fighter then, but I never was like an abusive person where, especially like to my partner or anything. So he was like, oh, what y'all gonna jump me? Y'all gonna jump me? I'm like, no. And then I was like, I got something for you. I gave him the things. And he wanted a hug when I was getting ready to leave and stuff. And I was like, no. And I just got in the car, and he just stood in the back on the, behind the car as I drove off and was just looking sad and stuff. So me and him, we started talking again and stuff like that. And by his birthday, he was moved back in. You know, he was back living with me again. And but the one thing I do want to say is that to be a blessing, to receive a blessing, you have to be a blessing. Yes, I spent my last money buying this dude who hurt me. At this point, we was only together maybe like 6 months. We just started dating. Well, we was dating, but we made it official in September. Yeah, we made it official in September. And we was only dating like 6 months at this point. 6, 7 months at this point. Okay, so we was only dating, but anyways, so I gave him the after I spent my last money on this dude, I came home and I had like a direct deposit from, that's when we was getting that first stimulus checks. So I'm like, you see how that worked out for me? But anyway, so I'm pregnant at this time, and he comes back and live here for his around his birthday time. And I should go back to this too, but I'm gonna go back to this after this. So he came back and everything okay and stuff like that. And this was like around the middle of April or whatever. And then we had both got matching tattoos, not this, because this is a cover up. But we had both got matching tattoos, and it was a leaf, because like we had made it official on the first day of fall here. And then it was, we both had our air sign, not air sign, I'm an air sign, but we both had our sun sign, each other's sun sign within the leaf. So, yeah, he comes back here and I can't say things was good because it never was good. Especially like the first year. It was, them few months was okay. I'm not gonna say a few months. Some few weeks was okay. But it seemed like after we made it official, it just became bullshit. And why it became bullshit because I wasn't true to who I was. I was letting this man and his kid's mother change me, change who I am. And that's one thing about like why I'm here now. Because yeah, I was letting that change like who I am, but I never let any hurt, any things that I've been through in my life change who I was, who I am. I always been of the love, of the light. I always been a kind, generous person. And anybody that knows me can vouch for this. So I didn't remain true to who I was. The first thing I didn't remain true to was listening to my intuition, going against boundaries that I did have set up. Like a boundary that I had set up, and I met this guy when I was 30-something years old, 33. And the boundary that I had set up was I do not date street dudes, drug dealers, because I know drug dealers live the fast life. It's hard for them to stay true and faithful to one woman because easy come, easy go. So that was the first thing I went against. The second thing I went against is something that my mom taught me. She used to always say, oh, the way you get them is how you'll lose them. And I'm like, wow. And she told me this as a teenage girl. And my mom told me a lot of shit as a teenage girl that I didn't really put into perspective, didn't retain the knowledge from it until I got on my journey here. So, and I lost that man plenty of times the same way that I got him. I got him, basically he was with somebody. And I don't want to say like they was together or anything, but yeah, like his shit was at her house or whatever. But that's a whole nother story. Anyways, so back to me getting all these readings, listening to these readings and stuff like that. And I actually got reading from my friend too. And she told me that, and I got it when we first got together. She told me, oh yeah, girl, he gonna leave you. He gonna go right back to her. And I'm like, no. Like I could, anytime I got a reading, and that's how I feel as a reader now. Anytime I give a reading, people don't take heed to it. And that's how I am too. That's how I was. Like, okay, yeah, you telling me what's going to happen, but there is free will. And things can change. So, okay, so basically he ended up leaving me a couple times, whatever. We had the second time he left me. I found out I was pregnant, take him back. And me getting, waking up to my spiritual journey. So, now I'm back at work and just working and stuff like that. And, matter of fact, cause my job, they let us take some time off. I think it was like 10 weeks or something. They let us take time off for COVID and stuff. So I took 10 paid weeks off for COVID, and when I went back to work, I didn't have a car. So now I'm pregnant, you know, big pregnant, and And I had to catch the bus every morning. I had to walk my kids to daycare and catch the bus every morning while this man was just laying in my house all day. And sometimes I would get frustrated because I would come home and I have an older daughter too, and the house would be a mess. The kids wouldn't be situated, and I have to cook or whatever. So, and I get home, well, at like 9 something, because I was on the bus at this point. And how I got on the bus, I'll tell you about that too. But how I got on the bus is because one of my sisters who hooked me up with this man, right? Who said, oh, he is so good. He is this, he is that. He a good man. He this and he that. She, after I started going through shit with this man, she didn't want me with him no more. You know? And I think it was some kind of like, she was mad and shit. You know? And I had, my car was in her man name, which is the guy cousin, you know? And that's how my sister knew the guy, because it was her man cousin. So they ended up taking my plates and stuff in the middle of the night, which left me pregnant. Now, I was already going through mad shit with this guy and just period, in life, period, with my oldest daughter, with this guy. And then I have someone that you know, that love me, claim they love me, my sister, just bring hardship on me. Like, you know I have to work and all this stuff. Why would you take my vehicle away from me? So, okay, now I'm back taking my kids, walking them to daycare every day. And the dude wouldn't walk with me. I'll walk by myself most of the time. And then one time, he walked with me. And it was already tension because, and this is how I started in my spiritual journey, because I could sense everything. I could sense when this man, when he was ready to go. He was ready to go be with his family again. I could feel it. I could sense it. It's certain things he wouldn't do anymore. It was certain ways how he would just act and shit like that. So, yeah. Oh, damn. I really want to find this, man. So anyways, so he had walked me to the bus stop. I gave him money, right? And I got on the bus, but he didn't hug me or nothing before I got on the bus. And I'm like, so I'm on a bus, like, fucking, the only thing stop people from seeing me crying on the bus. These are people, because people I work with rode the bus too. And I'm texting him, we texting back and forth. I'm telling him, I don't feel loved, I don't feel appreciated, all this other stuff. And then he would always, like, somehow make it about him. Oh, I don't love you. But I'm here with you. Who gives a fuck? But, yeah, he was like, oh, I'm here with you. I'm this, I'm that. So, we going back and forth most of the morning and shit like that. You know, I'm just at work, just emotional and shit. I'm already an emotional person without being pregnant. So add a pregnancy on it, and then add the fact that I'm catching a fucking bus to work. And I don't get off work till 8 o'clock, and then I gotta wait on the bus to come and take me home, and then do all this other shit. So, so he didn't have no phone or nothing, so he was using the phone over here at the house or whatever. And at one point, he just stopped replying to my text messages and didn't answer no calls and shit like that. So I'm like, man, this seems mad weird. So I was like, Vaya, go in the room and check to see if, I told my daughter to go in my room to check to see if his stuff was in there. She was like, no, I don't see it. It don't look like it. So I looked on my camera. It hurt me so bad. I looked up my camera and I seen this dude with his bags rushing to get in the cab like he was running away from fucking home or something. Like I was the enemy or something. He didn't tell me he was leaving or nothing. Imagine being, I don't know how many months, 5, 6 months at this point. Imagine at work being 6 months pregnant and you see on your camera the one that you were supposed to be with just rushing, leaving your house. Like he had to hurry up and get away and sneak away. Imagine if I didn't see that and I just would have came home expecting him to be there. And then me having to feel all them emotions in front of the children and shit. So, once again, me being prideful, I didn't call and text him and shit, right? For a few days. But it was really just eating me, because, one, you wouldn't even been able to get in that cab if I ain't give you no money that day. And that was the thing that was eating me. How could you just take my money and just leave me like that with no goodbye, no nothing? No nothing. So, yeah, so I'm still going to work and shit like that, emotional at work, and this, my coworker was like, are you okay? And you know when people ask you if you're okay, when you already emotional, that's gonna make you cry. So, before I used to be a talkative person that used to talk to this guy every day, talk to people every day. And when he did this, I stopped talking. So the people around me was feeling some kind of way. They're like, yo, you okay? This was 2 years ago. And it's still painful because I really allowed someone to treat me like this. I really allowed someone to degrade me and belittle me like this and make me feel like this. Okay, so this is when I really started on my spiritual journey. I started paying attention to the signs that the universe was giving me. Me walking my kids to daycare every day, I started paying attention to the birds. I started paying attention to picking up feathers, finding crystals and rocks. So after this dude left, a few days later, it was just eating me. So I had to text. I text him, and of course, this nigga was like, basically it was my fault he left. And saying, oh, fuck you. And then I'm trying to tell him, I'm trying to still, after this dude did all this to me, I'm like, just come home. I'm like, you're more than just a street nigga. You have so much more potential. You don't have to be out in the streets. You don't have to be this and that. So, like, when he came back, no, when he came back in January, right? After he left and he came back, before he left in March, I had got him a job. Yeah, it was a bullshit job, but it was a job. Who cares? You was making money. You didn't have to worry about your baby mama calling the police on you. You didn't have to worry about niggas shooting or none of that. So, so when he left, now, yeah, I didn't talk to him for, I ain't really talked to him that much. Once in a while, he text or whatever, and I'll reply or whatever. But me being prideful, I never really, like, put myself out there to chase him or whatever. So, I was still holding on to him and still wanted to be with him and shit. So, I knew I was powerful because when I found out I was pregnant and I learned my due date was November 4th. Now, I was born on June 13th, which is known for, like a bad day. Like Friday the 13th, I was born on Friday the 13th. Just give me a minute, because I have to, like, my phone is about to die. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So, yeah, I'm telling y'all this background, which I'm going to tell y'all everything that happened to me in my life and how I got to this point. But I'm going to start off with how I got to my spiritual awakening first. And this is going to be part 1 of it. Part 2 will be the second year of basically my spiritual awakening. This is the journey to my spiritual awakening here. And I'm telling y'all this because my channel is about healing. I'm gonna heal loudly for y'all, so y'all don't have to suffer quietly. Man, we all got trauma and shit to heal from. And we all been through stuff. Women and men. The thing is, don't let none of that change who you are. Don't let that stop you from being and seeing the love and light and everything around you. And especially within. And the stuff I was trying to look up on the computer, it were about karmic debt. Now, that is something I learned too when I was looking up, like, when I was, like, getting, like, the readings from YouTube and stuff. And they was talking about, like, karmics. And I never knew, like, none of these terms and stuff until, like, I started, like, really, like, watching these YouTube channels and stuff. And my karmic debt here in this lifetime was to the fall of my karmic debt is number 16 with my birthday numbers added up and calculated. And basically it means the fall of my self-worth and my self-esteem and the rise of spiritual awareness. So if this man never made me feel like this, and I never I'm gonna tell y'all, like, stories throughout my life where, yeah, it did, like, tack on my self-esteem a little bit, but I always felt like I was worthy of something greater. That's why I never stayed with a man just because we had children together or because I invested all these years or anything like that, or it was a relationship I was comfortable in. I never stayed with them because I knew I deserved greater. And I knew my self-worth. And if I didn't experience this with this man, then I wouldn't be here sharing my stories with y'all today. So, with that being said, I knew I was powerful. I think I was starting to say this before I had to go get my charger. I knew I was powerful when I found out that my son due date was November 4th. I talked to my sister, the one who I mentioned earlier, and said that she's the one that really opened my eyes to spirituality and stuff. And I said, watch I have him on October 31st. Now, the thing about October 31st is that's Halloween. And then I was born on June 13th, which was Friday the 13th in the year that I was born. And both days are associated with being bad. So I said, watch. And then guess what? I had him on Halloween. That's my little Halloween baby, my spiritual baby. So, so after dealing with him, he came around a few times, but it's like when he came around this time when I was like towards the end of my pregnancy and stuff, like he just had the demeanor. Like if he was this person when I met him, I would have definitely never talked to him. But when he came around, he just had the demeanor of a fuckboy. As a playboy and shit. Like, and he came to the hospital. I didn't let him come when I had the baby because I felt like if you wasn't there supporting me on throughout my pregnancy, why would I let you be in here at my most vulnerable moment when having my baby? So yeah. So he came after I had the baby, and it's like I wanted him but didn't want him. And he didn't really stay a lot. And that's the weird thing. And I will tell you like about my other pregnancies and stuff too. And like the birth of the just the experience of the relationship and stuff. But I never had a man, even the son that I had before that wasn't by him. And I really, really disliked him. And he even stayed there with me in the hospital. He even stayed in the hospital with me, but this man didn't. It's like he will do just enough or say just enough to keep me there, to keep me string me along. And then, is there anything else I want to say on this part? Or do I want to leave it for the next part? Yeah. Oh. And this is the thing about this childbirth too. It was at because I gave birth to all my children at one hospital. At the same hospital, all of them had the same birth. Almost the same midwife delivered majority of my kids. She delivered this baby too, but they had moved to a different hospital. And I had the worst experience in this hospital. I don't know if it was associated with this man or if it was just the hospital. It was probably a mixture of both. But I had a horrible experience at the hospital. And it was a lot going on at that hospital. And the energy was very bad there. And it was so bad that I had to stay like 2 or 3 days in the hospital. Usually I go home the next day because I have no support system. I have nobody to watch my kids. So after I give birth, I'm home the next day with my baby. As soon as my baby is cleared, I'm home the next day. This time I had to stay 2 to 3 days because my baby wouldn't eat. My baby did not eat in that hospital. He finally started to eat when we was like the day we were supposed to go, so they let us go home. Even my baby felt the bad vibes and energy of like just the atmosphere in that hospital. And I was so like happy that I went into the hospital. I went into labor with my son at I went into the hospital at 4:45 in the morning. I had my son at 5:25. Yeah, I had my son at 5:25 in the morning, and it was just so quick. It wasn't painless. It was still a little painful, but it was just so quick. And I was so blessed because I was so miserable. And I brought all that energy onto my son. You know your baby is feeling what you're feeling. I was so miserable during my pregnancy, and all I could think about was like, all I could say to myself when I was getting ready to be close to my delivery, like, please baby, don't be hard on mommy. Be gentle, Don't basically don't pay me back for the pain that I caused on you, or that I let you feel in my pregnancy. That was like the worst pregnancy I ever like experienced. But the thing about it is that when I wasn't with that man, everything in my life was so much better. Something was just, and that's part of like having a twin flame too. Like they just pull, constantly telepathically pulling your energy. But when I wasn't with that man, everything in my life was just fucking perfect, man. Sometimes the universe will keep making you go through things until you realize, like, yo, okay, now you gotta see this for what it is. And if you don't start seeing it for what it is, then something drastic is gonna really happen. If y'all think this first part of this story is tragic, and I'm just a light of the bullshit that I went through with this man. Even in this first part, I didn't even say everything. I was so low. Like, just everything was just low. Financially, when I was with him, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, I'm gonna try to get like pictures and stuff and show y'all just how my face looked when I was with this man. Like the beginning, before I met him, like right before I started dating him, and like during this time, like my face, you could just see the sadness, the hurt, the pain, the anguish, the mental anguish. You could just see it all through my face. But yeah, when I wasn't with him, now before when I was with him, I could never get my hours to, I could never get a shift bed. Everybody who got hired when I got hired, even people who got hired after me, got approved for a shift bed, but I never could. Once I wasn't messing with him, I got approved for a shift bed, because before I was working from like 11 to 8, and then I got approved for a shift bed to work from 8 to 5, which was like, no, 8 to 4:30, which was better because I have kids. And then, no, it was from 8:30 to 5, whatever, the time don't really matter. And then that was the first thing. Second thing is I got approved to work from home. So now I didn't have to like catch the bus and stuff. Yes, I still had to walk my children to daycare every morning, but I didn't have to like catch the bus to work and from work or whatever. I got approved for credit cards. I got unexpected money. I was saving money. I had a savings account. And guess what? When I got back with him, ran up all my credit cards. Didn't have no more money in my savings account. Just everything, like us as women or just us as people of the light, period. We have to be careful who we decide to connect with, because I'm attaching myself to this man in the name of love, and I'm going through so much shit because I'm inheriting his karma because he's around me. I'm inheriting his karma that he's supposed to be facing just because I can't seem to take the signs of the universe. I can't seem, oh, this man already left me 3 times. In less than 1 year, you done left me 3 times. And I couldn't, and the thing about me is, like, the crazy thing is, and people who know me, I never have a problem with letting go. I never have a problem with letting go. I love you with all my damn heart one day and be crazy in love with you. And then the next day I'll be like, oh yeah, you ain't the man for me. And won't even talk to you no more. Won't even think about you no more. But this man has such fucking pull over me. Control, like, and not control as in like he was controlling like what I was doing or anything, or he was a controlling person. But he has so much mind control over me. I let this man have so much power over me. But yeah, everything, we got to be careful who you attach yourself to. Because you be wondering why shit going wrong in your life, and it don't even be you. It don't even be your karma, or it don't even be because some people believe in bad luck and stuff. I don't believe in all that bad luck, good luck shit. Just I believe everything happens for a reason. And the whole time I'm thinking it's some kind of, oh yeah, I'm going through this because it's some kind of lesson in this. Yeah, it is some kind of lesson. Don't attach yourself to motherfuckers and you don't know what they done did all their life, and you inheriting their karma. So yeah, this is my first part of a long journey to my spiritual awakening. This I chose to tell this part of the story because this is what really like brought me to my like spiritual awakening. And this was just the journey to my spiritual awakening. My spiritual awakening really doesn't happen until a year later. And that was like really, really hard. And a year later is like basically now in this present time now. And maybe a few months ago, it was actually a few months ago in September. Ironically, it was almost 2 years since I first met this man or was introduced to this man. And when I was introduced to this man, I was like just out having fun, enjoying life, being just being free, just being in love with me. And I let this man come into my life and stop me from being that, having that energy to feeling like worthless. And okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. And like I said, I'm gonna tell y'all everything that happened to me throughout my life here, Because I want people to know it doesn't matter what you go through, you know? Just grow through what you go through. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. Some people wouldn't even imagine, like, the things that I have been through in my life. But yes, I have been through many of things in my life. And it have brought me here today to tell you, we could all heal together. You do not have to suffer in silence anymore. Let's all heal and learn and grow. And never let no one stop you from being who you are. That was the most important thing. Like, yes, I was feeling unworthy and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I never let that stop me from being a loving person, from being a caring person, from being an emotional person, from being an empath. I never let none of that stop me. Nothing of what I've been through and what I'm going to share with you ever stopped me. I'm just here. My mission on this earth is spiritual awareness. It's being a spiritual teacher. Is to teach that we all have a higher calling. Once you find your calling and look at your birth chart and figure out your north node, then it will all make sense. I had to learn my north node basically is in Aries. And the guy that I was messing with is an Aries. And this is how I know he's my twin. But let me just tell you about the North Node being an Aries. Basically, it was me learning how to be by myself. How to love myself. Self-love. I used to think, that I loved myself because I thought I was pretty. No, I didn't. Being pretty, that don't mean everybody is pretty in their own way. But I knew I didn't love myself because I let so many people take advantage of me. I gave so many people so many chances. I was a people pleaser. I had to get out of that energy. I would sit there and let people it's a good thing to just be a listener, because everybody don't want somebody that just yapping. So yeah, it was good that I was a listener, but some things I would want to say and I just not. I won't even say it. I just sit there and just like let the people talk and listen, don't say nothing, don't really express how I really feel. And on this journey, I had to learn to open my throat chakra. And then guess what? When I started opening my throat chakra, I lost a lot of people. Them people I used to let stay around me and take advantage of me, friends, family, exes, whomever, children. Once I started opening up my throat chakra, I lost a lot of people. But the reason why I knew this person was my twin flame is because my north node is in Aries and his north node is in Gemini. So the things that I had to learn about me, he was born with that. The things I had, he has to learn about himself, I was born with. And I don't even know what the hell, I don't remember what his north node mean or whatever. If y'all want to look up your north node, and that is, your north node is your true self. You know what they true north? Yeah, that's your true self there. Yeah, so I'm done with this video. Stay tuned for part 2 of my spiritual awakening. I will have lots of more videos. And I just want to say one more thing too. That I started doing tarot because I feel like a lot of people are watching tarot readers now. And that's how I started my journey and stuff too. And I feel like that will bring me to a bigger audience to share my story. Even if somebody is your twin flame, your soulmate, your family, your friends, your children, you do not have to settle. You do not have to stay quiet. You do not have to suffer. Just, you do not have to be a people pleaser. Everybody is not meant to travel this journey with you. Everybody is not meant to travel this path with me. If I wouldn't have learned to open my throat chakra, if I wouldn't have learned self-love, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be listening to other people. I'd still be letting other people's energy affect mine here. The one thing I do want to thank the people that I've crossed paths with in my life, everything led up to this moment right here. To me speaking to you, to me sharing my story with you. I want to teach people, no matter what we go through, always see the light. Yes, it is darkness, because you can't have light without dark. You can't have love without hate. You can't have masculine without feminine. It's a balance to everything. And that's why I decided to get this covered up with this. Balance yourself. Don't let nobody take the light from you. Or stop you from seeing the light. Remember, you are loved, you are worthy. I love you, family.